630. It's Wednesday, July the 19th. Thank you so much for being here. A reminder, if you're new to the show, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review. If you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please take a moment and do so. It helps tremendously. And share the show with your friends if they are interested in some knowledge cock. And methinks that they probably would be because they spend time with you and you are interested. So share the knowledge cock far and wide. Also, if you have not yet checked out the brand new merch drops over there at papaswolio.com, use code Daily Swole for 10% off every single day because you're a listener of the show. Again, that's code Daily Swole for 10% off over there at papaswolio.com. And last but not least, we have an overtime segment coming up on Friday for members only with a brand new Driving While Gaining Uncensored. Don't miss out on any of the exclusive live streams, roundtables, accountability meetings, of course, all of our programs, hundreds of yoga classes, thousands of recipes, the elimination diet, master classes, meditation, so much more, everything to crush your 7 pillars. Join us inside Swolenormous X. Join the fam today, swolenormousx.com. That being said, on to the show. It's 26:30, it's Wednesday, and let's make some sick fucking gains. Go to the fucking gym. The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised. What the fuck is going on?
So much internalized fat phobia, self-objectification, and racism, and all of the things.
Shut up.
Misogyny.
Holy shit.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
My name is Swolenormous.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testing, testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 2630 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gamecast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, bustas, hustlers, and your hoes? It's your boy Papa Swolio back with another episode. Today's episode, the Beastcast, is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everson K2, flexing fucking on all you beasts.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah, the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
All right, fam. Welcome to the show. Hit the thumbs up button and share the stream. Send it to someone who needs some live knowledge cock in their lives. And we know that there are many people out there that need that. So hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed to the live stream channel. Most people watch on YouTube and Rumble at the Daily Swole. All those links in the show notes below. Let's get into today's episode. We got a great Swole card today, and we have some awesome Swole fan posts. And of course, we will answer some questions and go absolutely ridiculously balls deep. So without further ado, welcome, come one, come all. And if you are training right now, make sure you push that extra fucking rep. Don't be a little beesh. It's time to make some sick fucking gains. Go to the fucking gym today. If you haven't, go to the fucking gym. All right, let's bust the nut open. Let's get today's Swole card out. We'll give it away at the end of today's episode. And we shall summon the Falcon. Would you smash today? Drop it in the comments. Yas beaches. All right, hashtag force momentum. So people always ask about motivation, which we all know is bullshit. Motivation is a nice fancy word for feeling like doing something. And people that are searching for motivation are usually the ones that never actually get anything done. So hashtag write it out, don't be a lazy beach. Hashtag force momentum, don't give me that bullshit FM. Nah, you can't get lazy. Hashtag force momentum to win today's Swole card. If you need to get started, you have to force it. You have to do it, especially when you don't feel like it. And if you want to get results, you should always be doing the things you need to do when you don't feel like it. You have to build that skill. You have to build that capacity. And it will become easier because once you get momentum, it's easier to keep something in motion that's already in motion. But if it's not in motion, you have to get it started. It takes a lot more energy to get it started from the beginning. So force it. Get it fucking done. Now let's get into that tip. Spit on it. Babe, just an inch, just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, let's get into the first Swole Fan post. Reminder, we'll talk about it more tomorrow. We have overtime on Friday for members, so don't forget, join swolenormousx.com. If not, otherwise you'll be missing out on the bonus segments on Friday. It's going to be fucking awesome. First Swole Fan post.
What's in the box?
We got a comment on legs delta, and Leah writes, filthy. This workout crushed me. I couldn't even do the full sets of walking lunges or hip bridges with weights. I did as much as I could, then set them down to finish my reps. Definitely humbled here.
Emotional damage.
Everyone loves some legs delta. Everyone loves some legs delta. We got a nice little novel from Mark, so let's get into this one, and then we'll get into a couple email responses probably. Let's see. Mark says, as I write this, I am on the eve of my 30th birthday, which has given me a lot of time to reflect on my 20s. I could sit up here and say how great they were, but in reality, it sucked. I could have used all that pent-up anger and taken it out on the world and played the victim, but I chose not to. I instead chose to put more emphasis into self-care, and by that I mean going to the gym, eating better, drinking more water, eliminating foods and activities that were detrimental to my well-being, as well as cutting out a lot of people that I previously considered friends out of my life. I can say that I have a much clearer head and feel better both on a physical as well as a mental level. The Swole Fam keeps me going as I see all of your posts and progress. Very fat phobic, I know. If there's anything I'll learn from Papa since discovering him, if there's anything I learned from Papa since discovering him via Instagram, it's that life is going to be hard and it is up to you to either sit back and let life beat you down and play the victim, or you can get off your fucking ass, go to the fucking gym and be a more productive and self-sufficient member of society that now only gives back to those in need, but has the ability to look at yourself and take accountability when need be. It's hard because a lot of people write these on their phones and the grammar is confusing when I read it live. So while my 20s weren't all sunshine and roses, it did help me build up my character. Instead of cake and drinks, I will be celebrating with a solid chest and tricep ass kicking in the gym and some steak. Here's to entering my dirty 30s. Well, happy birthday, Mark. Very nice.
Hadouken! Hadouken!
All right. Good man. All right, let's move right along. Good for you, Mark. Happy birthday. And let's get into a couple responses. We got some long posts today. Oops. Is that not going to load up? Let's see here. Oh, it's only one today. It's only one today. That's right. It's a long post, so we're doing one. All right. If you are not yet on the email list, go to Make Email Swole Again. Links in the show notes below. Again, makeemailswoleagain.com. And get on that email list because we're sending out fire every fucking day. This is a response to the secret to long-term results. And this is from Mike. And Mike writes, Papa Swolio, this is so true. In January of 2023, I weighed in at over 400 pounds. My blood pressure was dangerously high, and I ate a diet that would have crippled even the mighty Papa Swolio of fast food at least 2 times a day and sometimes even 3 times a day. That wouldn't. Yeah, that would have absolutely. I thought you said it might have crippled. It would have destroyed me. 2 to 3 times a day. Holy shit. Thanks to a shitty diet, I am diabetic and taking a shit ton of medications daily. It was a struggle to walk my fat ass from my work truck and up 3 while stairs after a long day. My knees, ankles, and hips hurt all of the time. I got fed up with where my health was and being in constant pain. I was teaching shitty habits to my kids and destroying their future health. I couldn't afford to go to the fucking gym, so I brought the fucking gym to me. I used Facebook Marketplace to source out some equipment, started watching every YouTube video I could, and getting my ear holes stretched out by that massive knowledge cock Papa was swinging. I changed my diet and focused on my training. I made those non-negotiable parts of my life. To date, I've lost over 90 pounds and I've set several goals. We're actually on our way home from a week-long vacation with family as I write this, and not once did I deviate from my nutrition plan and found ways to move and train while everyone ate pure trash. I'm still tweaking my training program to maximize the 7 pillars, increase my mobility, and regain my health. To anyone out there, don't give up. It took years to fuck myself up, and it's going to take years to unfuck myself. All things are possible, and you are in control of your actions. Motivation is fleeting, and discipline is the biggest change to make. Thanks for everything you do, Papa. It's made one hell of a change in this fat chode's life. Now, fam, get your ass to the fucking gym and make some changes. What a fucking post. Hell yeah, dude. Fan-fucking-tastic. Talk about force momentum. This kind of literally describes what forcing momentum is. And he literally says, motivation is fleeting and discipline is the biggest change to make. I mean, motivation is bullshit. It exists, though. There's a definition for a reason. It's just feeling like it. Oh, I'm motivated. I feel like training today. To be honest, for me, I'm going to train today. I trained yesterday. I'm going to train today. Just it feels like there's recovery and there's also, oh, okay, I need to do some. I need to do something. I need to do another workout. I feel like it. I just feel like I need to. And you have to learn your body, but you also have to push yourself, and you're not always going to feel like it. And you have to know the difference between you need to fucking suck it up and do it anyway, or you need an active recovery day and so forth. But when you're just starting out, you need to do more frequently. It's counterintuitive. What usually the approach is, if you're just starting, you don't want to go too much, you're brand new, you need to make it a habit. So you could do a lot less, but do it frequently because you need to build that daily habit. You can't be training once a week when you first start. You need to get your ass started. So force that momentum. Force that momentum. Motivation is going to come and go. You're not always going to feel like it. Momentum will be created if you just fucking do it. So push, get it started. Remember, it takes more energy to get it started, and then you keep it moving. All right, let's get into some questions. If you have questions, drop it in the chat. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. Great post to get us started. Excellent post to get started. And if you want to join those amazing people, join us in swolenormousx.com. Again, those of you that have started the brand new Maximum Swole program on Monday, we dropped 2 new workouts. So if you haven't checked those out, or add them into your routine, if you're doing the split that uses the chest and back individual workouts. So we have chest 2 and back 2 that were released on Monday during the accountability meeting. Let's see. We got a question here from...
What's in the box?
Ooh, super zoomed in. Josh W. 2198. Appreciate the lack of underscores. Appreciate it. Is working out to failure a great way to build up strength? Well, in many cases, it's the only way. And of course, it's not necessarily the only way. Remember, your body is adapting to stress. So a lot of times people overdo the volume and they don't train with enough intensity and they cause themselves a lot more fatigue. So depending on your recoverability and what your training split is, failure is the most optimal way, in my opinion and experience, to build up strength and to build muscle. The difference is the closeness to failure, how close you can get to absolute failure. And that's the best way to, in order to do that most efficiently and consistently, you increase the intensity, you decrease the volume. That way you're not producing the same type of fatigue, because it's not necessarily the muscle fatigue. Your body will repair the soft tissues pretty quickly. It's the central nervous system fatigue. It's the overall fatigue. And if you're doing that with a lot more sets than required, you're creating the need for a lot more recovery. you're digging yourself a deeper hole. You are beating yourself up more than you need to in order to adapt from the stress, the progressive overload. So you need to create that overload consistently, and doing less volume, but training with that decreased amount of volume, less sets per exercise, 1 to 2 sets in my experience, you will be able to build strength, build muscle with less overall fatigue. And most people, when they overtrain, it's really just lack of recovery. They're fatigued. And your body, it's not just feeling tired. Your body is drained. Your nervous system is drained. Your organs. Remember, you might have, just because your legs are sore doesn't mean your chest is ready to train. And it's not that your chest is physically sore, but you have the same nervous system. You have the same organs, brain, heart, liver, lungs. It's just your endocrine system, your balance. Your body is repairing and restoring itself, both the nervous system and the muscular system, lymphatic system. Everything's working to repair from the previous and to recover from the previous workout. So just because your legs are sore and you did them yesterday doesn't mean your body as a system is ready and prepared to train another body part. So if you're not fully recovered, you're not going to grow. And if you're constantly draining your body, you're not going to be able to repair from each individual training session. So if you're getting stuck, train less frequently or do less volume, increase the intensity, and recover more on a regular basis. We always talk about that in the programming. That's why we rarely have subsequent intense training sessions from day to day. And we customize our recovery periods like the new Maximum Swole program. But you need to make sure you're recovering. If you approach your life from a basis of recovery, am I recovered enough just to fucking live? If you're recovering and repairing, then you can actually grow. If you're training before you're fully recovered, you're just beating yourself up when you're only 70%. So you're not going to be able to create the same type of overload so you can consistently make progress. Thus, you're going to plateau. And that's where most people suffer. Cryonic612 live. Papa Swole, the difference between results from free weights versus machines at the gym is one better than the other. There's no difference. There is, but there isn't. Your body doesn't know what it's doing. Your body needs the overload. So in many cases, machines can be superior, equal and or superior. It depends on the movement, really. There's certain movements that you actually will probably get a better targeting with a machine. Plus, you don't have the need to you don't have the need to stabilize yourself. So if you're using a machine, you have more stability, and the more stability you have, the more force you can produce. So for example, you all know this, if you're doing a squat, for example, on a Bosu ball, which is a silly thing to do for most people, you're very unstable. So you can, or unstable. So you can't, the instability is high. You're very unstable. Get my grammar right. So you're wobbling around. You're not going to be doing as much as if you're on a flat surface and lifting shoes and really nice, secure training platform. Imagine it. You're on a Bosu ball. Are you going to load up 315 or are you going to drop the weight and just put like a 25 on each side so you don't fucking hurt yourself? But if you're on a flat surface, you might load up a couple plates and do a set of like 5 reps. You're not going to do that, or you're not going to be able to lift as much on a Bosu ball. And that's just because there's an increase of instability. So in terms of bands or chains or different angles, now when it comes to machines, some machines are better than others. Some of you will know this. You'll have machines that can have more articulating arms that separate, or have like free-flowing cables, like free motion machines where you can actually really get a better angle. Some machines are really locked in place and they don't have a lot of give, which may or may not be a bad thing. Or one machine might not have an adjustability for your torso length or your arm length. And ladies, you know this, sometimes the machine's just too big for you. You can't get the right angle. Or dudes, or anyone, you'll get on a machine and you just don't feel it as well, but then you find another one and it looks similar, but it's not because the strength profile, everything's different. The pulleys, the angle of pull, the grip, the handles, machines are so unique and individual. Some machines are awesome. Some really suck. But ones that are really good are really good. But free weights are great. Can you build a ton of muscle with free weights? Obviously, of course. Can you build a ton of muscle with machines? Absolutely. And of course, if you're training by yourself, you want to push to failure, it's smarter for you to do a hack squat or a quality leg press than it is to do a set of squats to failure, unless you're very advanced and you have supports and stuff, but you're not going to be able to maybe, you're not going to be able to go psychologically as close to failure as you would on a controlled machine, because you can push yourself with, like if you're doing a hack squat and you have a safety at the bottom, you can push and you can just fucking force and hold that last one at the end. And when you're done, and put it down. You can do that with a squat bar, but it's a lot more stressful to fail and, have it on the railings. It's just a much higher risk profile. Plus the angle with the hack squat doesn't put as much systemic load and spinal load because of the 35 to 40 to 45 degree angle, depending on the hack squat machine, as the compressive force with a back squat or a front squat. Let's see. Amanda, fuck me. I struggle with recovery. I'm so sore from push yesterday. I really shouldn't be pulling today, but I can't make Lee break through this idea that I'm here, so I need to push hard. You don't. Yeah. You don't need to move them. And that's why if you're struggling with recovery, you're going to be limiting your progress. Just factually. Now, some people recover faster, but for you, it's just like a nervous habit. You need to slow down. You need to meditate. You can just be active. You don't have to lift weights. You shouldn't always be sore. People get addicted to that feeling. People associate the feeling of soreness with the feeling of accomplishment, as if it's a steady reminder, hey, I trained. Yeah, you trained, but actually being sore is not a requirement for building muscle. It's not a requirement. You don't have to be sore. When you do maximum swole, you may be really, really sore, but you might not be really, really sore. And if you add new workouts or new exercises to your routine, if you do a different exercise, you might be initially really sore because of that shock from a new movement or a new grip position. So even if you're doing pull downs on one machine, you're doing a different machine or a different angle, or you're adding in this different pulling move, like a cable row instead of a dumbbell row, it's a whole different feel. So you can overload your body in a different way. So that is a different type of shock. All right. Mir Adib Ahnaf. Matt Damon. Underscores. Damon. All right. Favorite day on gym. All of them. I love training. Never pick favorites of like, this is my favorite body part to train. If you do that at all, choose your weakest or your most underdeveloped body part and make that your favorite. No, Amanda, you shouldn't. Should I bail? I'm already here. Tell me to walk out. I'm not going to tell you to walk out. I'm going to tell you to pay attention. And if you're seeing progress, if you're increasing in muscle, if you're not worn down, if you are improving in strength and you're tracking this, are you doing maximum swole? If your strength improves and your reps improve and you're making then your body's recovering. But once you start not seeing progress, you are just physiologically fatigued and it's going to negatively affect your growth and your progress. People are hitting plateaus because they're burning themselves out. They don't realize they're not training hard enough and they're also not recovering enough. Uzi's Franco 08, another fucking underscore. I'm going to hit the Mad Damon every time I get an underscore. I'm just going to hit it. I'm going to start using underscores just to troll myself. No, fuck underscores. What are some good foods for losing body fat? That's the opposite of what you need to be thinking of. You need to be thinking about what you can remove. Most of the things you're eating probably should be removed. Probably should not be consumed. If someone's asking a question like that, most of the things that you are eating should be removed. I would do an elimination diet. Check out swolenormousx.com for information on that. Demon Knight 08. Any tips on home training? Many. What's your question? Just tips on home training? Start. Get some equipment. Depends on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to master kettlebells, don't get a barbell. So any tips? Yeah. Start training at home. You don't need a lot of equipment. You don't need expensive equipment. So it depends on your space and the money you're looking to spend. It always comes down to that. You can't get big machines and big cable machines and a big squat rack if you have a small space or a low ceiling. You might have to do different things. There's different options. And if you don't have any money to buy equipment or very little, then you can't get, a certain piece of equipment. So, but I would say in terms of getting equipment, I would make sure you're checking out Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp. You can find amazing deals on things. You don't have to buy things new. Let's see here. Titoan underscore 100T. Gotta do the math, Damon. It's just standard. It's just standard. How long did it take you to get that swole? Well, I haven't been like bulking endlessly, but I've been training for over 20 years. So people always ask, I mean, it's taken me my whole life to get to where I am, but I also haven't been like trying to just endlessly build muscle forever. So the only reason I'm here today is because of everything that happened before, but I've gained, put on a lot of weight, then I kind of cut down, trimmed down, done different things, it's just being consistent over time. So people that say, oh, it takes you a year. No, it takes you much longer than that. It takes you much longer than that. You can build a lot of muscle by doing a lot of shit incorrectly because most of the time you're young when you first start. So you can get away with a lot of bad decisions, you can get away with a lot of bad form because your body doesn't have that compounded poor nutrition or poor posture your whole life. You haven't exposed yourself to that many bad repetitions. So you can get away with, not that you should, but you can get away with a lot of bad form in many cases, extra volume because you recover faster. You can get away with a lot of things when you're younger, when you first start training, and still build muscle because the shock is completely new, brand new. As you get older, or if you come into it when you're older, you might have a lot of issues that you have to undo. You might have to approach your training in a different way. That's why it should be individualized. Josep Morera. We just fucking loving these underscore. It's more serious than I thought. Joseph, how much time per day do you spend working out? Depends on the day. If I'm doing a workout session, 1 to 2 hours, but it's not constant. It's not constant. So when I sent out, actually an email's going out today about how long should I spend working out? And some people were like half an hour. And if you do maximum swole, depending on the volume, you can do it in an hour, but it depends. So I have a home gym. I have a gym in my house. I have all this different stuff. Sometimes I'm walking around or I'm setting something up or I'm outside in the sun. For a while, I was trying to keep it really short, but I also need to recover enough between intense sets. So I recover until I feel ready am I recover enough to go all out? If it's 3 minutes, I'm not going to cut my rest short just because, I'm trying to keep it tight. If you have a schedule, then you have to cut down on the volume that you're doing to make sure that you fit. If you only have an hour to the gym because you have to go for work, that's different. If you have a schedule that only allows you X amount. But when I train, I'm doing it till it's done. So it's not necessarily like an hour and a half of constant training. It might be 5 sets an hour. It might be 5 sets. It might be 6 sets. I don't need to rush it. I might be recovering 5 or 6 or 7 minutes between an intense set before I start my next one. If I set something up or if I, felt like I was going to pass out for like 2 minutes after my last set, I'm going to recover and then prepare the next exercise. So my workouts will take what they take, but the length doesn't mean have anything to do with quality. You don't have to train for 3 or 4 or 5 hours. That's for damn sure. And when people say, an hour and a half, that's a long time. Well, you can also do shorter rest and do a lot of sets, right? You could do 20 sets in an hour and a half, but you're doing way too much volume and you're doing way too many junk sets. You're just doing a lot of submaximal sets you can do all that in whatever you did. You can maybe spend the same amount of time, but get a lot more of the proper stress. You can cut down your sets probably to 1, maybe 2, and your intensity can be so much higher and you'll create more of a stimulus. So it's really what's the time required for me to do the sets of the exercise that I want to do. And you can't train at a high intensity if you don't recover enough. People that do 30 seconds to a minute between sets, you're just doing cardio. You're not training hard. And when I say you're not training hard, doesn't mean you're not tired. You're just doing cardio. Doing drop sets and things like that. I've done drop sets before, but drop sets are not 1 set. It's really 2 sets. You're dropping the weight. If you went to absolute failure for that first set, why are you dropping it? You're just causing extra fatigue. You created the stimulus. You did 1 set all out to failure. You don't need to drop it to half and just keep on going through the motion. You already created the stimulus. You're just fatiguing yourself. So there's a lot of different ways to approach it. So will you flood some more blood to the muscle? Yeah, okay, you might get a transient pump. That's why it's called transient hypertrophy, because it just floods the muscle full of blood. That's not building strength. That's just getting the muscle. You could do very lightweight and just do tons of high reps and get a pump. You're just sending blood to the muscles, and then it's going to go away, and you're going to be skinny still. Okay. Elizabeth, I took longer rests between sets with maximum swole, and I was able to lift heavier for failure that way, I believe. Hashtag force momentum. For sure. I've done 10 minutes between sets. It depends. Sometimes I'll do a set, and I'm so fucking wiped out. If I did like a set on my hack squat machine to fucking fail, I'm sitting there. It's like a minute to getting up, like my legs are shaking. I'm like, oh my God, get up. And then I might go, it's going to take a few minutes at least. Recover. How can I do my next set to failure with high intensity, with more than I did last time, just pushing myself to my limit if I'm not recovered between sets? Now, when I say push yourself to a limit, someone that does shorter rests will say, well, Papa Swole, I am training to my limit. Well, if you only have, let's say after that set, you only recovered 50%. Yeah, you might feel fatigue. You might feel like you're going all out. You're doing 100% of 50%. Does that make sense? You're 50% recovered, but you're going to that 50% limit. So it's 100% of 50%. But if you repair longer, let's say you repair 100%, then you're able to go 100% again of 100%. So just recover between your next set, and everyone's going to be different. You might, after a certain set, I might go to failure, but it might not be the same type of overload because there's certain exercises that might be more isolative. So for example, if you're doing leg extensions, that's more isolating than, for example, a hack squat, which you're hitting more muscle groups. So it's more fatigue on your nervous system. It's more fatigue overall. You're hitting more muscles. You're going to be doing more weight on a hack squat than you will on a leg extension or a leg press or a Smith machine. You're going to be it's much more overloading. It's the weight's on your back or it's on your shoulders or you have 6 or 7 plates. It's much more challenging than leg extensions. I'm not saying you can't fucking crush yourself with leg extensions, but you're just hitting yourself overall more physiologically. So certain sets are going to require more recovery after. So if you're doing a heavy set of squats or Smith machine, just overloading, you're going to need more recovery before your next exercise or whatever you're doing next than if you did a really hard set of leg extensions. Even though it might just wipe you out, it's just not that, you're not hitting as much. It's not going to be as overall fatiguing. Let's see. Wilberto. Papa Swolio, do you feel any difference when doing incline presses at 45 degrees or 30 degrees? I hear that at 30 degrees, there's more activation of your chest, especially upper chest. What's your thoughts? You don't need a big incline. A lot of incline machines that are set up, the benches that are attached, those fixed, a lot of times they're too high. So I would recommend doing 30 degrees. A lower incline is better than a higher incline. The higher the incline, the more you're hitting your shoulders. And this is why a lot of people, you really don't need to do anterior deltoid. If you're doing if you're pressing, a lot of times, everyone's different with muscle development, but a lot of times you don't need, I don't do anterior deltoid all the time. Most people need to focus much more on their middle deltoid, and especially your posterior deltoid for that 3D shoulder look. Because you'll get a lot, when you're doing back, you don't get your middle deltoid unless you're training your middle deltoid. You don't really hit that body part. You don't really get the posterior deltoid unless you're doing focused on it or you're doing a row with your elbows flared, like 45 degrees or higher. If you're doing a higher row, like a T-bar row up here, but a lot of people do T-bar rows with their elbows down by their side, or they're doing pull downs. So a lot of people don't hit their posterior deltoid enough. So I would focus more on those areas because with pressing, you get a lot of anterior deltoid. And if you do, you don't need to do a lot of volume. You don't need to do a ton of overhead pressing or a shoulder machine. You could do one after a chest workout. But again, it depends. If you have, for whatever reason, underdeveloped certain muscles, then you can have a split. So if you need to really focus on your anterior deltoid, you should probably start a workout and do a shoulder workout, or do shoulders and triceps, or shoulders and arms, or shoulders and biceps, or do that overhead press before you do back day, do it at the beginning of back day, or something like that. So if you have an imbalance or a muscle group that you need to focus on, then you can prioritize it in a certain way. But getting back to your original question, yeah, just a lower incline is totally fine for for chest. And if you're doing incline, just make sure if you're doing a machine, you're not arching your back, or if you're on an incline, you're lifting your butt. A lot of people do an incline and then they cheat and they have shit form. And they end up turning into a flat bench. Okay, let's see. It's Anas Ahi underscores. So I'm not going to do two. How I get money to go to the gym. You get job. You get job. Job give money. Money go gym. Biraj Boo 1.2. Is protein shake necessary for muscle building? If not, its alternatives. Real food, steak, eggs, raw dairy. Protein is just a breakdown of dairy. But a lot of times it's it is ultra processed and it's added with sugar and flavorings and all this other shit. If you get grass-fed whey isolate, you might be okay with that. But I just have raw yogurt or raw kefir or something, or I eat food right after. You don't have to drink protein shakes. Yeah, raw bull milk works. You can get it. Raw bull milk. Protein is essential. So the protein shake, that's a very specific question, but protein powder isn't required, but it can be effective if you have good stuff. And if you need to get in more protein, it can be very challenging to eat solid food. This is why a lot of people don't bulk, right? This is why a lot of people don't bulk properly. They don't put on muscle because they don't eat sufficiently. Oh, Papa Swole, I have a fast metabolism. I just can't gain weight. You're just not eating enough. Yeah, but I'm always eating and I'm full. No, you're not. If you're doing it, you're eating when you're full. You don't want the food. You're not hungry at all. And you're eating another, 8 ounces of, you just feel sick. Yeah, that's why you have to eat small meals 6 or 7 times a day, because you feel like throwing up, but you're still eating. That's how you build muscle. Not saying everyone would feel like that, but that's a lot of times the way it feels when you're eating more than your body requires. It doesn't want more food. It's telling you, please do not eat more. That's why a lot of people dirty bulk, because they eat ultra processed food that doesn't fill them up as much. And they get a lot of garbage calories and they have a lot of problems while they're bulking, and they get fat and break out everywhere and it's crazy. Ah, yes, I am Job. Mrs. Doubtfire. I am Job. I am Job. Yuvra Shukla 495. Which pre-workout is better? Black coffee. Black coffee. You get the caffeine and you don't get all the garbage that they put in pre-workouts. And you could also mix your own with like citrulline malate or beta alanine. You can get the powders and weigh it out yourself. Really, the problem with pre-workouts is excessive caffeine, all these other additives and flavorings and stuff that give people the shits, that give them the jitters and things like that. And more sleep. Most people don't need any kind of crazy. Yeah, you could have a little black coffee. That's fine. That's fine. But my point is, most people take all these crazy stimulants because they're exhausted. They're chronically exhausted. They're not getting sleep. So they're not even at a 0 point. If you're already at 0 point and you're rested, you have a little black coffee and you just feel like training anyway. You just feel fucking great. Take a cold shower, cold plunge or something like that in the morning. You're up. But if you're fucking exhausted and you need 400 milligrams of caffeine just to get your ass to the gym, there's a problem. Mauricio VR21. Mauricio, what's the best rear delt exercise for you? For me or the general you? As long as your elbows are out to the side. So you can do a cable row like this. You can do a row machine like that. Just this movement. T-bar is great. Just get your elbows more out to the side and it'll hit rhomboids, middle traps. It'll hit the posterior deltoid. You can do one arm. I like one arm cable across the body. You could do reverse pec deck. Just make sure that you're not over shrugging. Your arms aren't too high, because you can, the posterior deltoid works for some extension as well, but it's mostly horizontal abduction. So really what you're trying to do is you're trying to put the upper arm in the proper position to make sure that the posterior deltoid would be doing most of the work. Yeah, face pulls are all right. I mean, super overrated. Face pulls are okay. And most people do face pulls wrong. So I don't like just saying face pulls because people do all sorts of shit. I mean, you get the posterior deltoid. It does horizontal abduction. It does extension. It does external rotation of the shoulder. So you can just do a high row with your elbows out to the side. That's probably the best way to hit posterior deltoid. One of the best ways. Floor, cobras are great, but, you could do face pulls. You could do those exercises. A lot of people just don't do them right. So just saying that word, people are doing all sorts of they're pulling from all, a lot of people do it, the hot mess. But, cable going across the body for posterior, that's one of the best exercises. You get the stretch and you don't have to round and move your scapula all the way forward. Because once your scapula starts moving, your posterior deltoid's not doing anything. It's just isometric. So you can get your scapula here and go across the body. A lot of people go all the way across and they pinch their shoulder blades back. If if the scapula is moving, it's not your posterior deltoid. Your posterior deltoid is just working the shoulder joint, not the girdle. A little more technical kinesiology, but some of you that listen know what I'm talking about. Ren 2704, Papa Swolio. Would Indian club bells be good to start working out? 45 and never been into sports, but I've been diagnosed as pre-diabetic, so it's time to move. I mean, Indian clubs are great. Indian club bells. I honestly don't know what that is, because a club bell is different than an Indian club. So you kind of combine, I don't know if you're talking about wood, or you're talking about the small steel ones, or you're talking about the mace, because that's like a mace club bell, a mace bell. Just want to make sure what you're referring to. So clubs are fantastic if you have the proper weight. So I don't know anything about what you're saying or what you're, 45. If you're doing small steel ones, 3, 4, 5 pounds at the most, you just got to be very, very careful. Also, 45, you should be, walking, moving, do an elimination diet, get your nutrition in order, and start with the strength training program. So you can do Indian clubs and stuff too, and yoga, but lifting weights is going to be a standard. Make sure you lift weights. Oops. All right, let's take maybe got 1 or 2 more questions. Let's see. Matty Bobby, Papa Swoley, I go to the gym every day, work Monday to Saturday and study. How could I stop collapsing sometimes? Jesus Christ. Then you're not recovering enough. I don't know what your sleep is like. Collapsing? You might want to go to a doctor if you're collapsing. All right, time to go balls deep. My goodness, just in time.
That's deep.
How could I stop having strokes? Yeesh. My goodness. All right. First, I want to talk, we go over...
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
We go over very technical things every single day, every single show. We got this article. I've been talking about this for a while. You're going to start seeing a lot more of these things. Hopefully, people don't start shooting up these clinics, but that's probably next on the list. A young North Carolina woman sues the doctors who put her on testosterone at 17 years old, saying she needed therapy, not a double mastectomy, in latest blockbuster, quote, detransition lawsuit. So this is going to be, this is just human rights violations. It is child abuse. It's some sick shit. And this is not a joke. This is not a drill. Kids go to a psychologist, like you go to a counselor, and all you need to do is say a couple things like pronouns or gender identity, and they already start referring you to gender affirming care. Within a week, you can be prescribed hormones. Like, this is a sick, sick, sick trend. And rather than assisting children with puberty anxiety and with mental disorders and with social media and essentially just these social contagions from going through these growing pains and being confused about what's going on with their body and these thoughts that are being implanted by mentally deranged teachers in many cases. So anyway, you're going to see a lot more of this. Let's see. Prisha Mosley, 25, says she was confused and battling mental health problems when clinicians suggested cross-sex hormones and a double breast removal after brief consultations, one lasting only minutes. That's sick shit. Clinicians suggested cross-sex hormones and a double breast removal after brief consultations, only lasting minutes. One lasting only minutes. Fam, I don't care if you're like, well, it lasted 59 minutes. Well, it could have lasted 120 minutes. You shouldn't be removing someone's breasts after a 3-hour consultation. I think everyone can agree with that as well. So the fact that it could be maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes, I don't know what minutes means, but I don't know how many you could have spent all day talking about this shit. You shouldn't make a decision like that, even if it was a 24-hour consultation. In her 53-page complaint, she said her doctors lied, including by saying testosterone jabs would solve her problems and make her, quote, grow a penis. Well, that's a win. They said it would grow a penis on me and it didn't. She has since decided to, quote, detransition and live as a woman and seeks financial damages. Well, the problem is you're never going to be able to have kids. You're never going to be able to get that back. You're fucked forever, which is unfortunate and sad. And I do agree with her. I mean, this should not have been done. 17, and people are doing this much younger. They're giving kids medications in order to stop them from having puberty. Can you imagine stopping a child from actually going through puberty? That's some sick, twisted shit. Yeah, these are good. This is criminal activity. Now, of course, going by the law, like that's the problem. But morally or ethically, this is sick shit. What the law will prove and what laws are in place, that's the problem. And what can be proven and, how her lawyers approach this and what statutes. And I'm not a lawyer, so, like technically, that gets thrown out because of this parameter or this was done and that shouldn't have been done. So, but morally and ethically, we can agree this is some twisted stuff. She is just the latest detransitioner to take legal action against her doctors and lawsuits that could prove pivotal in the heated debate about transgender rights and medical procedures. This has nothing to do with transgender rights. That's the grift. Has nothing to do with it. We're trying to protect children. We're trying to not affirm mental disorders and mental disease. Gender affirming care is not care. In other words, you're just feeding into someone's delusion. Well, I feel like a woman. Yeah, but you're not. But you're not. Well, I want to be a man. Well, you can't be. It's like you can want to be a horse. How's that going to work out for you? Right? Tainty Man doesn't have his ball sack. I still say good boy. You know why? Because he's a fucking boy. He's a tainty man, honestly. But he's male. Cutting off his balls doesn't make him not a male. When you fix your dog, she's not a boy. Oh, he got those spayed or neutered. It's like, it doesn't change their sex. Yet, of course, with humans, this is different. Everything's different. Quote, we'll leave with this. They lied by omission, withholding critical information about her from her about the long-term adverse health consequences and permanent damage these treatments would cause her and failing to inform her of alternate courses of treatment for her psychological problems. Okay, so we wish her the best. That's really sad and sick, and I think most of us agree on, the creepiness of all of this, but, as this is it's going to be a crazy next 5-10 years when this shit piles up and suicide rates start going through the fucking roof even more so. And you have people that can't control their anger and continue to lash out, hopefully without harming other people. But, when you're taking hormones and your hormones are all out of whack now permanently because you're injecting and, all this stuff to your body that's not natural and your mind is all fucked up and people are going to lash out. People are going to lose their fucking shit. Megan, the mental fuckery that was put on these kids is unimaginable. I'm a mom of 3, 32 years old, and even I still sometimes don't like being a woman, but I am. I hope these people find joy in life again. Yeah, we were talking yesterday when some trans person was like, you women, you can't gatekeep periods. And everyone in the chat was like, take mine. Who's gatekeeping a period? No, you can't have one. Only I can have one. I don't think anyone's bragging that they get periods. I love bleeding out my puss. No, that's mine. You can't have it. You want to bleed out your your vagina? It's like, okay. Like, I'm not complaining that my dick doesn't bleed once a month. I'm okay with it. I'll just, I'm good. You can't gatekeep periods. Cerny's like, I'll trade you. My whole life, like, I'll trade you. I'm glad I don't get them anymore. I'll fucking give you mine. Okay. Let's see. Videos. Oh God, repeat offender. Gross. Ugh, gross. Pick a number, 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. What we got here?
What's in the box?
1, 2, or 3. Pick a number, 1, 2, or 3. That's just silliness. You can't gatekeep periods. That was yesterday's episode. You can't gatekeep periods. I don't think anyone's gatekeeping that. You're keeping you out. You can shove ketchup up your ass, but it doesn't make you a woman. All right, Wilberto, save us. Number 3, Wilberto, numero 3. All right, very nice. Let's get a golf clap.
Well, folks, eliminate one tax loophole out of $1.6 trillion one. $1.4 trillion. Out of $1.4 billion.
I want ice cream.
Excuse me, $1.4 trillion.
Come on, man.
All right, Wilberto, numero 3. Wilberto, so everyone, you could blame Will for this one because it's going to be bad. So everyone blame Wilberto in the comments. Just haze Wilberto because we're choosing it. This is called Son Wanted to Wear a Dress. All right, this is perfect. Perfect timing. I
better use my strong hand.
Son wanted to wear dress. So what?
Her parents admit it was hard to process their then son begging in tears to wear a dress.
I feel like I'm an open-minded person, but when it's like your son, asking you to do this, and I think I wasn't thinking about her feelings at the time. I was just thinking about how are people going to react to it.
You were afraid, a little bit afraid for her.
Yeah, and I still am afraid for her.
But the North Carolina family, who asked that we not use their name, has learned to embrace a change they never saw coming.
If we continued to say no, you have to live as a boy, she would continue, she's young. I'm sure she would have done it, but we didn't want to be her first bully. We wanted to support her.
You like fashion?
Yes.
What do you like about it?
Just the way you can express yourself with it and how creative you can be with it.
And so Ava became Ava in the 2nd grade.
She had to walk into her classroom and identify that, she had a new name and pronouns, and she was so excited. It was like Christmas.
Fam, it's the parents. You cannot blame the children. They don't know. And it's ironic because the movie Barbie, I guess, just came out or something. I don't know. I will never, ever, ever fucking see it. I will never see that movie. But when I was little, I remember I wanted Barbies because when I was 3 or 4, you see other kids and you're in play dates and stuff, and you see them in the store, and I wanted it. And so she didn't no, you can't have one. She got me a toy, and I was like throwing it around and playing with it, undressing it or whatever. And then I got bored and I went back to other things. So a kid wanted to wear a dress, let the kid wear a dress. I mean, if he still wants to wear it when he's older, okay. So he cross dresses and maybe has autogynephilia and, you know, gets turned on by pretending he's okay. So still a man, still a boy. So there's a bottom. All right. The dad kind of looks a little soy boyed, to be honest. It's the parents. You're the parent. You're in charge of setting your child straight. Again, we'll talk about what kids believe in. What do kids believe in? They believe in Santa Claus. They believe a fat man has reindeer pulling his fucking sleigh in the freezing cold around the entire world, squeezing down his fat fucking ass, squeezing down a fucking brick chimney with a bag of presents to leave you presents because he's been watching you all year. Sounds like a pedophile. And then eats your food. He like leaves some gifts because he knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good. And then he eats your fucking food and splits. So kids believe that shit. And they believe it. And you know they believe it. Until they're old enough to be like, oh yeah, that's mom's handwriting. Okay? They believe it. They believe it. They think it fucking exists. What'd you want to be when you were little? You thought you were a dinosaur. You thought you were Superman. Cool. But your parents didn't say, go jump off the roof. Yeah, I affirm your superhero-ness. Go jump off the fucking roof. I remember one time I destroyed my mom's makeup, like all this expensive like lipstick. She came home or came into the bathroom and I had it like all over my face and all over the bathroom. All this like expensive lipstick that she had. She'd be like, oh, my son was playing with makeup, lipstick. He must be a girl. Okay. Let's do another one. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Will.
I'm totally comfortable in my body. I just don't want to be in pain.
That was Will. Will's fault. Hayes. All right. Let's pick another number. We got two more. Pick a number, 1 or 2. 1 or 2. Drop that in the chat. Let's get some more coffee. Let's get a little church. Let's get a little Pinkston. Oh, very nice. Oh, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. Look at that. Look at that, Bish. Look at you. Look at you, so cute. Look at you, so cute. Everyone feels a lot better because you're so cute. You're so sleepy. She's so sleepy. All right. Hashtag force momentum. Drop that in the chat. Hashtag force momentum. Drop that in the chat. Let me move that over a little bit. Fan-fucking-tastic. All right. Hashtag force momentum for a chance to win today's Swole card. Oh, Will. Oh, don't be sad. Don't be sad. Let's go with Elizabeth T, number 2. Elizabeth T, number 2. We got one. It's called Fat. Her again? God damn it, Elizabeth. God damn it. God damn it. Fat activism. The comment says, fat activism, LOL. Be for real. Being fat isn't desired. It's not. And I'm sorry that we're watching a video from this person again. I'm going to put an end to that.
Thank you so much for perfectly proving my point. We need fat activism because so many people think fatness is so bad. Enough for you to basically act like it's unnecessary, to like advocate for good treatment. Just a little thing called like being a human. Fat activism is so necessary because there's so many comments like this. There's so many things that people see online all the time that are just mocking fat people, mocking fatness, and there needs to be some of the other side. Let's
mock the stupidity that comes from fat people trying to justify it as if it's something honorable or something that you have to really work hard for.
visibility of this movement, which you're contributing to by commenting and watching my videos. Thank you.
The fat activism movement is very visible. It's very visible, and ironically, there's very little movement. So calling fat activism a movement that doesn't have visibility is the opposite. Has way too much visibility and has no movement.
Because visibility is how we transform lives. Because if it hadn't been for the other fat influencers
go to the
and
gym.
fat
That'll
scholars
transform your
and
life. Go
just
to the gym.
people putting in the work to be visible in this movement,
Say it
I
again.
wouldn't be here. And I know a lot of people would say, good riddance, but...
Based.
Fucking people.
Super based. Based.
I'd argue I have already made a more positive impact on so many people's lives than the people who are commenting.
You have made an impact on people's lives. You have. A lot of impact. But that's none of my business.
Things like this. Remember, at the end of the day, all I'm ever advocating for is
Laziness. Weakness.
equality of humanity of fat people. So if
I'm going to stop right there. That's right. That's where you got your equality of humanity. Okay. All I'm asking for is equality of humanity. Well, there isn't. There is no equality. Now, should people be treated equally? Sure. I mean, treated in terms of equally, like, how do you mean, right? I think there's human rights. So if you're talking about human rights, well, you already have them. It's called the Bill of Human Rights. So, well, it's called the Bill of Rights, but you get my point. You already have human rights. No one's executing fat people. No one's throwing tomatoes at fat people in the street. You just need to take care of yourself. It's objectively unhealthy and you don't want to change, and then you're asking for people to pity you. You're making yourself a victim. People don't like when you're making yourself a victim. I'm a victim. It's like when someone says, I'm awesome, or I'm so popular, or I'm so smart. Even if you are smart, people are just like, shut the fuck up. If you're a victim, if you were attacked, or something physically, then that technically is, attacker and the victim, but it's also the mindset, right? So you could objectively be a victim in terms of definitions, but it's also how you perceive yourself. If you label yourself as a victim, if you label yourself as someone who's oppressed and doesn't have human rights, yeah, you're going to whine and bitch and moan about everything, but you already have that. You're creating an argument or a fight that doesn't exist. All you have to do is build some good habits, close your mouth and put in some work. You'll feel better about yourself. You'll look better. You'll attract more positive people in your life because you start seeing people differently. People will see you differently. You handle yourself differently. If you don't have confidence and you don't take care of yourself and you have poor posture and you're standing around all meek and people are going to treat you as such. You don't attract. That's where you have like the law of attraction, because people see these things. They see body language. They see how you handle yourself. They see how you treat yourself. And if you treat yourself like shit, then people are going to treat you like shit too. And it's not that they're going to actively be mean, but all of a sudden your lens of how you perceive people's opinions. If you hate yourself, then everyone else does things, whatever they're doing, you're projecting your own self-hatred into their minds. Like, oh, they're doing this because I'm fat. They're doing this because, I'm not skinny, or I'm in a size 25 or a torrid 1, I should say. Right? You're projecting your own thoughts into other people's heads. You don't know what they're thinking. People are in the gym and they're overweight in the gym. Like, oh, people are looking at me thinking I'm fat and I'm fucking gross. And they might be looking at you thinking, hey, they're making a positive change. That's awesome. Good for them. Which is honestly what most people think. If you're in the gym and you see someone who's obese in there on the bike or in there lifting weights, what do you think? You're like, oh my God, you might think like, I'm glad I don't look like that, but they're getting after it. And you could be honest. You'll look at that and be like, man, I'm glad I take care of myself, that I don't have those issues. But if they're in the gym, you're like, good for them. That's where you should be. If you're obese in a gym, don't be embarrassed. That's where you're supposed to fucking be. You'll be like that until you're not like that anymore. But that's where you're putting in the work to make those positive changes. So anytime I see someone that's in a gym or doing that, the first thing I think is like, good for them. Fuck yeah. It's like, where do you go if shit in your house breaks? You go to Home Depot or Lowe's, right? You go there because shit's broken. What are you doing in the gym? You're working on shit. Where else were you going to go? Oh, I'm fat. Let me go to McDonald's. Nope, wrong direction. Wrong one. It's like you have something, oh, shit, my sink broke. You take a sledgehammer and just destroy it even more. Maybe you just need a gasket, bruh. Okay, gorillas. We got one more, and then we will do a throwback. So here we go. This one's called Extra Tissue.
What's in the box?
Extra tissue. Well, you probably need an extra tissue. It's called extra tissue. Come on, stop whining. Come on, stop whining. Extra tissue. Here we go. Let's see.
If there's one thing I literally cannot take, is men believing that calling a woman's fatty tissue extra tissue on her body is insulting. I don't know in what freaking world we made it bad to have extra fatty tissue on our bodies. I don't know.
I call it extra human. Now, we all have extra tissue, quote unquote. We all have fat in our bodies. It's stored energy. And it's good for hormone balance and vitamin and mineral storage. Like, fat's actually useful. You can't have 0% body fat. You'd be very unhealthy and sick. But when we say extra tissue, it's the extra fat that's far, far more than what you should have because of your bad habits and things that you do by choice. If that offends you, you're more than welcome to be offended by any of these ideas. I can't control what hurts your feelings. That's your problem. I'll state facts and I'll state them in the manner in which I see fit because it's my fucking words and my life and my choice, and I'll do what I want. But if you want to be offended, that's on you. It's a weird flex. And again, going back to the previous video and just being a victim, you want to be offended. You look for offense. That's why you have things like microaggressions or, oh my God, these words hurt my feelings. You could do dictionary jousting if you want to. Words mean what they mean. Your feelings are your choice. So if you want your feelings to be hurt, if you're looking to get your feelings hurt, you're going to find something.
When that got stigmatized, I don't know what it even matters to anyone.
Diabetes.
Like, I'm thinking, okay, back in the day, people
heart disease
that were more overweight, like, died quicker or something because you're less healthy. Okay. So
just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
There you have it.
Like, you're more fat, you're gonna die quicker. You're gonna die quicker. Like, what's the insult behind it?
There's no insult behind it. An insult, you don't have to. Here's a fact. There is no insult behind it. Someone's just saying logical things. There's no insult. I don't know why you think that that's an insult. I mean, it's not a good thing. So if you're subjecting yourself to situations that lead to not a good thing, then if you consider that an insult, I guess we're going to continue to change definitions about that now. What's an insult? Well, silence is violence. Words are violence.
the insult, because are you afraid? Are you afraid of the fat on my body? Like, does it scare you? Are you afraid I'm gonna die quick? Are you?
Well, it's definitely going to be a burden on society. It's going to raise everyone's healthcare premiums and stuff like that. Am I afraid you're going to die quick? I mean, not afraid. I'm not afraid of your body fat. I'm not afraid of your body fat. That's why.
God damn it, I don't know what it is about your face, but I want to deliver one of these right in your suck hole.
Is there anything I can do to work on that?
No, not really. It's your face.
I love that, you know, like, does my fat scare you? Not really. I mean, your mindset is frightening, but not like in a, oh my God, you know, Friday the 13th type thing.
I'm gonna die quick? Like, don't worry about me, hun. Don't worry.
Not
I don't,
really.
like, it's okay. Maybe I'll die quicker than the next person who's a bodybuilder. I don't know. What is the fear behind the insult? What?
Okay, again. You see how they turn around their own self-hatred and their frustration into, why are you having a problem? It's not fear. There's no fear there. See, fat phobia gives this perception that it's on us. We state a fact. They can't handle it. Are you afraid of my fat? No, just trying to promote good habits to our society and our children and improve the culture that's really surrounded entertainment and instant gratification and obesity with everything. Everything is about stuffing your fat fucking face with drugs and food. So just trying to spread around a good message. And who's saying this to you? Maybe in the comments. So stop reading fucking TikTok comments. They're never going to be good. I don't know why you're going to waste your time with that. So there's a problem there. So you're reading or hearing other things. You're just projecting your own insecurities, which a lot of people do, but it doesn't change reality. So there's no fear. I don't fear your body fat. In all honesty, you should. You should be taking better care of yourself. If you don't want to, well, again, it's your choice. But the problem is you're making these videos promoting obesity, promoting extra tissue. So that is a problem. You could just shut the fuck up and eat your cake if you're so happy with yourself. This isn't a therapist couch. This is social media. Let's proceed.
Are you trying to insult me on? Fatty tissue on my body. You think I'm ugly? You think I'm unworthy? You think I'm unlovable? You think I won't?
I don't know. You don't sound lovable. You're not making a case for all of these things. No one said that, but see how it goes into this? Look, see how that got into
emotional, damn it.
Let's play that again. Did anyone say this? Where the topic change? You see how they just link everything together? No. Are you talking about extra tissue? And all of a sudden you're unlovable? You're like, whoa. Again, if you're going to pay me $150 an hour, I'll listen to this shit. Not for free. Okay, for free. Let's go.
The bodybuilder.
Pay attention.
I don't know. What is the fear behind the insult? What are you
There's
trying to insult me on?
There's nothing.
Fatty tissue on my body.
Nope.
You think I'm ugly?
That's
you
different.
think I'm unworthy?
Unworthy? Yikes.
You think I'm unlovable?
What? What?
You think I won't find everything I desire in this life?
Yeesh. Like, seriously, this is all in your head. No one's saying that. Oh my God, look at that fat person. They'll never find anything desirable in their entire life. They're unlovable. No one has that thought. They're like, man, that guy needs to stop eating fucking Cheetos. That guy needs to go to the fucking gym. That's all they think. And guess what? That person knows it too. They just don't. Okay.
You think I won't be loved? What are you?
You say it again. I think this is about you not loving yourself and what? Come on. Where's daddy? Never came back with the milk, huh? Goddamn. I'm sorry to hear that.
You afraid of for me? Because if you decide to insult someone on the fatty tissue on their body, there is something in you that's afraid of what's in me.
There's something in you that's afraid of what's in me. Sounds like an alien movie or something. Is this like Star Wars? There's something in you that is afraid of something in me.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
There's some unpacking that needs to happen here. You got some bagage.
I'm not afraid of my fat.
I don't think that's...
But if you are, I hope you get to go heal that. Hashtag go heal.
What? So wait, and then it comes back to like, are you afraid of my fat? She goes, do you think I'm unlovable? Do you think I'm unlovable? Do you think I'll ever find happiness in my life? What the fuck are you talking about? It went from you just needing to like stop eating soy and grains and I don't know, lift some fucking weights. That's all it is. That's all it is. You realize you don't have to project this kind of nonsense. It's not complicated. You just need to lift some fucking weights and stop eating cake all the time. Make some better choices. Get rid of the vegetable oils and seed oils. Just eat real food, sleep better, get off social media, get some more vitamin D, and go to the fucking gym. Lift some weights hard. And then you won't have to do any of this. My extra fat tissue. Then don't. Then don't go to the gym. Am I unlovable? Am I on this? I don't know. Honestly, it kind of sounds like it. You don't sound like a fun person to spend time with just from that video, but I don't know. Maybe you are. Fine. I hope you are happy. I don't think anyone is calling you out on your overall, I don't know. Jesus Christ. Yeah, she doesn't look obese. I mean, that angle, she looks like, okay, yeah, she has extra fat. I mean, I'll tell you what, she doesn't look like she lifts weights. If she does, she doesn't do it properly, and she doesn't look like she eats, properly. Okay. A lot of people can improve their habits. I can always improve my habits. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Well, come on. Come on. Seriously. You're a silly goose. You're a silly goose. I'm sure she never talks about anyone. I'm sure she's not like talking shit about anyone. She sounds like a real gem. Okay, let's get into a throwback. Throwback time, fam. Throwback.
What's in the box?
For an airline to make the claim that just because someone needs an extension on their seatbelt, that they are no longer capable of helping in an emergency?
No shit.
That makes sense. If you're morbidly obese, I would say you're probably not capable in an emergency. Would you feel safer with someone who was able to fit into a seat or someone who can barely move?
You cannot make
wrong.
the assumption that just because someone is in a larger body that they are not strong.
Strength has nothing to do with it. It's about them not being able to move, like actually move, and probably be out of breath. And they're not in good shape. They're not going to have good cardiovascular capacity. Everyone thinks that. It's just common sense. You don't like the reality when it sits on your fucking face. You don't have to like it, sweetheart. You don't got to like it. All right. Super bass, of course. Now, I don't know if you guys heard this. I know there's a heat wave going on and it's like 115 degrees. Do you see that in the news? It was saying that a bunch of people had to be like carried off a plane or had like heat exhaustion. Understand. I mean, yeah, it's super hot. I'm sure it was hot on the plane, on the tarmac, and it's hot outside. But these people are also not healthy. So you're not having issues. You're not, passing out, needing like emergency services on an airplane because it's hot in there. I mean, if you go in a sauna regularly, 110 degrees, it's not, you can do it. You might be sweating, but you're not healthy. And a lot of people that fly or doing anything are very, very unhealthy. So of course you're going to have, crazy complications. Yeah. Frosty Ball says it's hot in the summer. Breaking news. It's hot. There's always heat waves and shit like that. There's been heat waves for a long time, for hundreds. It's fucking heat waves. It's hot in the summer. It's hot in the fucking summer. Everyone's down here. It's hot in Florida. Yeah. It's fucking July in Florida. It's fucking hot. I don't go outside. I might be like, wow, it's fucking hot. I'm not shocked. Like, why is it so hot? Because it's July. But people are really obese. They're unhealthy. Yeah. And they're dehydrated. I mean, I go in the sauna. It's like 200 whatever plus fucking degrees. Like, it's hot as shit. I mean, it's cardio mimicking activity. Your body goes into, if you ever wear like a band, like a whoop strap or an Oura ring or something like that in the sauna, I did that. I had a whoop strap like years ago, but you could see your heart rate just, whoop. It's like you're doing steady state cardio in a it's like you're doing steady state cardio. So yeah, fat, unhealthy, and dehydrated. People don't hydrate properly anyway, especially on a plane. Anyway, it's still not a good thing, but of course you have a lot of unhealthy. Have you been in an airport recently? If people are unhealthy, it's just fucking fat and you grow. And then they're hot and they're passing out. Oh my God. They're eating fast food and drinking sugar and soda. It's gross. So people are I'm not surprised. The same reason why when you have, COVID, who was most at risk? Obese people, people that are fucking unhealthy. So, yeah, Rufus, he's not a fan of cardio. Right, Bubba? I know we have shirts in the way. Don't be nasty. We're live. All right. Fam, let's give away today's Swole card. Good show. Good throwback. Logic and common sense. All right. We got a Swole card to give away. Hashtag force momentum. All right, we got a winner. We most certainly do. Today's winner, actually from the email list, it is Mike. Congratulations. What a man post. Now, this was done via email, so we will contact Mike. But Mike, you have won today's Swole card. Thank you so much for applying, and what a great fucking story. You can rewind the show and go and check it out. It's awesome. Hashtag force momentum. You are the winner. Send us an email to support@slormus.com. Swole card 2630 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. And of course, I will contact you via email that way to let you know that you won. Congratulations. Great story. And literally the definition of forcing momentum. So congratulations, Mike. It's a great post. Great post. Literally talks about motivation being fleeting. All right, fam. Great show, beaches. Soundboard request. Let's fucking go.
You are looking rather splendid this evening.
He's heating up! What the hell kind of country is this where I can only hate a man if he's white?
Loud noises! Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
I got hairy legs.
As you can see, my nipples have been removed from my body. Where they are, I don't know.
Stand! Stand! Stand!
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense. I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
No medication except my fucking antidepressants.
I'm your huckleberry. That's just my gift.
That's fucking bullshit.
How about I send you a hobo's big cheese?
I like to caress rusty spoons.
What is the best move to silence a woman?
Because chickens?
Coast to coast. Hell yeah, fam. All right, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
You switch the samples.
All right, if you're ready to join the fam today, head on over to swolenormousx.com. Join the fam. Don't be a beesh. Get access to the private community. Of course, all the programs, yoga, meditation, everything to crush all of your 7 pillars over there, swolenormousx.com. We'll see you tomorrow back here for episode 2630 Schwum. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, go make some sick fucking gains today. Peace, McGee's, deuce, Magoose, your boy Papa Swolio. Oh.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock's crashing. Like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I gift rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits.